go any further, I have another exciting graduate, guys. Her name is Natasha Angolu. Let me bring her up, guys, today so we can also see her. Hi, Natasha. How are you doing? How are you
Hi,
doing?
I'm okay.
Thank
How are you?
Thank you so much for coming. I really do appreciate. Thank you so much. And before we
You're
even go any
welcome.
further, I want to say congratulations for making it as a chemical engineer. Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
Guys, this is doable, guys. This is doable. She did it. So
It is with some challenges and so many bumps in the road, but it's
tell me,
very doable.
when I was doing my engineering, everybody was
Yes.
like, "Oh, Kirsten, congratulations, you're going to bed." I'm like, "Please, guys, I've got a hill in front of me. I didn't even want to think about it."
Uh-huh.
Wow, wow, thank you so much. So let's dive into. So tell us, what did you graduate from? Share with my viewers.
Okay, so I just finished with a with my bachelor of engineering in chemical engineering.
Yes. Wow. Wow. Congratulations. Congratulations. So let's dive into it. We want to learn about you, Natasha. So, how did
Yes, please.
you venture into this STEM? Most kids, most parents, most students, they don't know because it's strange. Remember, Chileshe also explained her own flavor, how she got into
Yeah.
STEM. So, how did you get into STEM? So, I'll take you back when you were little, when you were a little girl. What's going on in
Yeah.
your life at that time?
I think in Zambia, most of us grow up with that. I want to be a doctor. I want to be an engineer. I want to
Yes,
be,
you're right.
so we're always kind of led into that path
Yes.
unknowingly. Yeah. So I feel like, for me, I would say, I think growing up, I was more on the doctor side because
Really?
everybody's, oh, doctor, doctor, oh, doctor, doctor, doctor. Yeah. But I think as time went by and
Hmm.
actually getting into these real life situations,
Yes.
the path sort of starts changing depending on what you actually like, what time it actually takes
Yes.
to do certain things and all that. So this is actually a realization I had when I got to uni. But in my earlier days,
Hmm.
be- due to the interest of maths, because for me maths has always been like my favorite subject, always.
Really? Wow. Yes.
Yeah. So I think I had good relationships even with my primary maths teachers, secondary
Uh-huh.
maths teachers. Yeah, I actually ventured into. I think due to that, I actually ventured into additional mathematics, just
Wow.
out of the interest of that. Then also chemistry. Chemistry was
Hmm.
like my top science compared to the
Wow.
other ones. But it's through that it's actually led to kind of where we are.
Wow, congratulations again, guys. She's in STEM. We've always wondered who are in STEM. We need to bring these women out there so everybody knows that it's something that they can venture into. And thank you so much.
Very
And
much.
it's so exciting to learn how different people enter into STEM because sometimes they think an
Mm-hmm.
engineer has to be somehow like this, like that, and then they,
Mm.
yeah, because people think it's some kind of strange, and that's what I'm trying to avoid and just say no. Anyone can be an engineer. And guys, remember,
Anybody can be an
can be an
engineer.
engineer. I went to do my engineering. I always say this that people are going to know about my age, but I went to do my engineering after my 40s. You can imagine.
You
That's when,
see?
yes, that's when I went to do my engineering. So anyone can make a decision. I am a living testimony that anyone can
Yeah.
pursue engineering. Yes, you put mind to it. And guys, going doing engineering at a little bit older, it's not easy. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What
School
I'm
on
talking
your order
about.
is definitely not easy.
Exactly. So that channel,
Yeah.
wow, that's really interesting. So now, once you finally ventured to do engineering, let's say you said when you're already at uni, you now decided, how did you know which
Yeah.
one you want to do? Because there's different types of engineering. How did you
Yeah.
want to do mechanical engineering? There is a lot of engineering. So could you share with my viewers?
Okay, so for me, when I got in first year, cause like Chanda said, engineering for your program usually starts like for my school, cause I'm under School of Mines and Mineral Sciences, so it starts
Yes.
in second year. So
Mhm.
in first year, before we get quoted, Actually, for me, I actually wanted to go into more of school of engineering where there's mechanical, civil, and all that. But when I got in first year,
Mhm.
I actually had challenges with physics for me.
Tell me
So
about
I actually had challenges with physics. I
it.
tried. We had tutors who used to tutor us for extra
Yes.
hours. They teach you, but it was just hard. Yeah, they should physics.
Tell me about it. Yeah, the
But
physics.
then chemistry has always been there for me in the background.
Yes.
So there was more of that. You know what? Physics will give me a challenge, and when you hear stories of engineering for mechanical, it's more of physics. It's everything is more of physics. So
Yes.
I was there where it's like, school is already hard, and we don't want to go in programs where it's too
Yes.
hard for you to actually manage when you realize that you're having issues with the course. So for
Yes.
me, I chose the chemistry side because chemistry was one of my best courses, even in first year, even in high school. It's been there for me.
Yeah. And
I did pure sciences, so yeah.
Natasha, sorry, not
Yes,
to
please.
make sure you keep your thought because you're going to continue. Sorry for
Oh yeah.
interrupting you. So let me just slot in this little point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people think when we go to do engineering, like kuya fiaba mano, I'm trying to say
Mm.
like those who don't understand English, like, oh, all those smart people and they don't go through hard time. I went through hard time, and we have to confess to people around us, students, and also those coming, that there are challenges there. Even me, I
That's
had
why
to
you
look
have
for tutors.
challenges. It's true.
Yeah, I was tutored in math. I was also tutored in technical CAD, computer aided design. But guess
Okay.
what? After being tutored, especially in computer aided design, oh my God, I was a bullet. After being tutored, because sometimes professor Ngabale Funda or whoever is teaching, sometimes you just don't click. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Every
That's
time you
true.
are under something, if you are Peter,
Tengilopyafuminoko.
yes. So it's okay. Something like that to happen. It's okay when we are going through challenges like that, when you don't understand a certain professor. Sometimes your friend is the one so I had this friend of mine, even now I say thank you so much. He works for NASA now. He
Wow.
was really good in technical drawing. So he's the one I had to tell the school. I said, I want him to tutor me. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
goodness. After he tutored me, I was like so excellent. So I just want to encourage students here listening in engineering and STEM. Don't think everything is roses. No, there
No,
are
it's
challenges
not.
that you're going to have. Yeah. So we need to make sure you can have you the most important thing is to arrange your resources around you so that you can what? You can
Yeah.
uh, be comfortable in that class. And guess what? That kind of
Mm-hmm.
reasoning also when we are working, even today,
Yeah.
when at work, you have to understand your resources. Which department, which
That's true.
managers will help you, which
Mm-hmm.
engineer you are working with knows about what you are looking for. So I'm very good at that.
That's
Me,
true.
I really make sure I understand. I think would Excel are good. Even programming, I need
Mm-hmm.
this part. So I go there.
The same things were happening, even just because I briefly did some internship, so I've had a bit of experience also in the
so you know
industry.
what
And
I'm talking about.
you have to pick where to go, where who's going to help you with what, because especially just as we are like trying to promote STEM in the
Yes,
industry, it's we really need it.
I'm
Because I
telling
can tell you to say, when I just started my internship, the plant where I was put, I was the
you.
only girl. And
Wow.
when you get there,
Mm,
after a while, of course, after a while, you get a bit used. But in the beginning,
mhm.
it was so hard. You want to say something, everybody's male around you. You want to ask something, there's that
And
farmer.
you know what? Let me slot another one. And then, men, they've got their voices divided, and hey, if
Uh-huh.
you are drawing, the
You
tolerance
try
is
to say
high.
something,
And
they'll speak on top of
elo
you.
vale umfika mu room ka number one size and a voice.
Mm-hmm.
No, because they're still talking. So now I had to learn. I said, as I was
Yeah,
saying, yes, you have to learn and
exact.
voice out
Same here. You have to
your
speak
point.
up. Okay, I'm also here. Yeah.
And I'm also here. Men nowadays, the
Eh,
good thing, like here, they are very, very sensitive. they can tell at all
Mm-hmm.
she's talking. So after babuluma, I say, oh, Kirsten, what were you saying? You know, so at least we are conscious, and that's what we need also teach our men around us, that they need to
We need more
leave our
girls. We
boys
need more girls to go for STEM.
yes.
We
So
need them.
sorry,
No,
yeah, I
I feel
cut
like
you short.
science is no problem.
Mm.
Science, maths, technology, all these things, they are so interesting actually. Because,
Very.
after actually learning like from my chemical engineering
Yes,
and actually going in the industry, it's like you're also going into a new place of learning more things. What you
yes,
learn theoretically and what you find on the industry.
yes,
Things are it's actually more interesting because you're actually looking at the things that you've been learning about,
yes.
and it's something nice. I feel like those girls that are out there, they are
Mm.
thinking, okay, should I go into computer science, should I go into engineering? This
Yes.
looks so hard. We're
Mm.
on the internet today, we're googling so many things. You find a certain machine and you look at it and you're like, it's so hard. Then you go in industry and you look at it and you find out how it actually works and you're like, this is it. So we actually need more girls to get into these programs because they are really interesting, and they're not it's very hard, but
Mm-hmm.
it's also very doable.
It's doable. And the
Mm-hmm.
more we talk about this, especially on this platform, the more we expose all of us here. There was Chideshe,
Yeah.
there is you, Natasha, there are other
Mm.
women, I've been interviewing them. Let's keep going. Let's expose ourselves so that everybody
We
knows
need
how
to get the
we
word
fight.
out there.
Yes, the way down there. How do we
Mm.
fight? Let's put each other information, trying to understand our world. And remember, we're in a global world right now. Even if I'm
Yeah.
United in United States, there is no difference. We are all together. We
Yeah.
team up. We understand each other. How do you deal with such issues? How can you learn about
Yeah.
this? We have to make sure we can understand each other. We can communicate. We can learn from each other. Wow! Thank you so much for sharing that part. So the other question I wanted
Yeah.
to say, so, what would you say? I know you touched a little bit about it. What would you say to a girl growing up from, a remote area, those that don't have resources? I always ask people about this, and of course, different people they advise differently. So, what would you say to a girl
Yeah.
growing up in, for example, Kasama, Kudyole, Kudya Kumushi, someone Kwatamano. Yeah, but how can we
Yeah.
encourage those girls? Even here in United States, we have remote areas because people think everything
Yeah.
is roses here everywhere. Ama resources here
Yeah.
Lipusana everywhere. So how would you say
Mm-hmm.
to those girls growing up, how can they partake into this career?
I think I actually wanted to mention something earlier. I think we need
Yes,
more programs. I think I don't know how it is there, but we just nowadays there's more of rural education and all that.
yes,
So such programs need to continue where we're mentoring students or
yes.
like kids who are in the rural areas to say there's courses like this, and courses like this are very doable. It's manageable. Your dreams are valid. Like you want to be a doctor, you can do it. Here is
Mm-hmm.
what's needed. Okay, there's maths, there's what. Like study these things. This is the way to get to this point. So I feel
Yes.
like as people who are actually getting into these careers now, and even you who speaks up on this, like to just keep on reaching out and continue pushing, like, okay, these things are actually doable. Females can become engineers. It's not just about men, it's not just about young boys, even young girls dreams, they can do it. So I think that's one thing I would like to just encourage us. And yeah.
Wow, wow, that's true. And the other thing, as we always mention, to be curious, asking questions,
Mm-hmm.
because
Because
some.
you wonder sometimes, like kids, especially in the way they make the tuma cars, tuma wire cars, those with tuma pots, they are doing all those things, where all that innovation comes from. So I think it's from such things that we can actually push them to say, oh, you've made a car. You
Yes.
can actually, when as you grow up, there are things that you can actually get involved in that will actually lead you to make this physically. And somebody, I think, who's young will be very excited. Oh, back
Powerful,
then they told
powerful.
me I can build a car. So
Mm,
what career is it that can may help me build a car? An engineer.
wow. And
So
you know
yeah.
what? I'll tell you, like me when I was growing up, I had my elder brother, he's late now. He was
Mm.
he used to used to make cars. You know, boys, they make cars because one of the
Mm.
inclinations that's negative is assuming girls cannot play with the cars, girls cannot um they cannot, they should only be playing with if it dolly,
With
dolls,
pots. Hey, those.
things like that, and ukupa pomwana, they should be playing with
Being a
uh,
mother.
things like that. And that's what we push them. If you find ale angala na abaume, koku kamuka playing with boys all the time, and you are
Mm.
doing, if you're kwanga over there this side, so we contribute to that fact of making girls
Mm.
think they cannot do, you know, certain things. That is really
Mm.
a very negative thing to do. We need to encourage them to say, you know, they can do anything. For example, so as I was
Yeah.
saying, my brother used to love making cars using clay. Ama wire, my mom would find ama hang wire na to susula because we had made so I was thinking, I said, was I being wired that time? Because I was interested actually. Making
Yeah.
little cars, making
Mm-hmm.
different types of gadgets using clay. You know, we used to make that.
Yeah.
We are making all those things. And ever
Even
that
mad.
time, yes, I was thinking about, I want to do this. So even when, because my career started at Evelyn Home College, when I went to Evelyn Home College, I went and
Okay.
did production management. That's what I did there.
Okay.
So my,
Okay.
yeah, my desire was just to be in a plant version. You know what I mean? That's all I was thinking. My
Mm-hmm.
friends, I always see picking up the phone, answering in an attack. In the
Mm.
for jumbo, then them planting.
Yeah.
That's what
The
I was
chumacape.
saying.
Hey.
Exactly, you know, and it's fun, you know, you wear all those because it doesn't matter what you wear. What matters is the look, right? It's not how
Mm.
cute you look. You can look cute anytime you want to look. So,
Yeah.
you know, to encourage them. And I also, on this channel, I also talk about there are so many videos where I talk about how to encourage kids in the house, how to encourage
Yeah.
kids outside the house. Say when you take your kids outside, talk to your kids, panse, about, for example, temperature. How is it measured?
Mm.
People are wearing masks. There is COVID.
Mm.
There's a vaccine. Some people don't like vaccine. So you engage your kids in such a manner. It looks simple,
Yeah.
but
I
oh my
was
God,
I was actually
so
having a conversation with my young sister yesterday. I was
really?
helping her with a bit of maths work because she's been having some difficulties in maths.
Yes,
So there was a bit of a pause in the math solving. Then I don't know what we're talking about. So I think we're talking about like exchange of heat. Where I was telling her to say, oh, when you're cold and when I'm hot and you're cold, there's an exchange of heat here where heat is moving from a cold goes from a hotter concentration to a lower concentration. Just getting her to be a bit more interested. Like, oh, okay, kwani wako ni if cause for her she's been having a bit of challenges with math. So I'm like, you
yes,
know what, math is not it's not that hard. It just requires practice and every day. Where you don't understand, you ask. So
yes,
it's like the same thing that you're doing, putting them in situations where you're making science interesting. Or when you're cooking, okay, you've seen here, water is boiling, there's
yes.
steam, all these kinds
Guys,
of things.
women,
It's going to
mothers,
push.
please. Zimwe wonse mama wache graduate, we're gonna get married, we're gonna have kids. Science talking, Beyonce.
We're pushing all of them to go
Yes,
that way,
push,
but we
push, push.
encourage them. We have to encourage them.
We have to encourage them.
Because
The other
honestly,
time, I was
being in
talking to,
industry is interesting.
it's very interesting. So we are going to talk
Mm.
about what Wadia is talking about soon. I was talking to my niece. She's so smart. So she's like, because I was seated in the vehicle, and then in quarter, the screen, sun screen, the sun shield, that silver metallic
Mm-hmm.
shield, kuli moto kaku screen, nimbika. So
Mm-hmm.
she could see it because I was talking to her on the video. She's like,
Mm-hmm.
Auntie, what is that you are putting there? So I didn't understand. I'm like, what? There, that thing there.
Mm.
So I had to explain. I said,
Mm.
sweetheart, this is a silver kind of shield. It's created like this so that when the
To
sun
block the
hits it,
sun. Mm.
it can reflect. Right now, it's not even
Mm.
hot. My niece opened her eyes like, I said, yes, when the sun hits that shield, the one you're seeing, that's why they've chosen the silver color because they want the
Mm-hmm.
sun to reflect. So if I touch
To
it like this,
reflect.
it's not hard. Oh my God, you should see
Mm.
how her eyes lit. Then I told her, can you explain what I just
Curiosity.
said? Yes, she explained.
Mm-hmm.
She said, oh, you are saying when the sun hits the that silver
The
thing, it
shield.
reflects. I'm
Uh,
telling you, I could not believe it. So we
mm.
need to share with our kids a lot of things about,
And because at a tender age, they are able to grasp things at a faster rate, and there's that it sticks with them even when they see something familiar. Okay, I saw this somewhere. So I think if we're starting at a younger age, then we're setting the
exactly.
pace right, and things are going to be good
I'm telling you,
in
wow, you are
future.
very, very, very right. We need to start them at a very tender age because that's when they can grasp things, they can reason, and they will never forget. They'll always keep it up. Wow. So,
Yeah.
what Wadia is saying, it's nice to hear from you, my fellow engineers, and the challenges they are going through are similar. Tell me about
Mm-hmm.
it. Hmm?
I'm
Fingi
telling you.
tikikaluka pano fingi. So we need to have
I'm
a
telling
platform
you.
where we can discuss, feel comfortable. We are not saying all these things, and maybe we're trying to talk about things that can help grow us. So on this
Yeah.
platform, guys, let's team up, let's discuss,
Let's feel free. Let's share
yes,
our
of course,
opinions. Yeah.
you know
Because
different
there's
opinions.
one thing I actually observed. Even
Mhm.
like you are saying, you've been working for a while now. Like
Yes,
even the Zambian women engineers here, even them till now, they still say like they still feel sometimes inferiority complex where you've been working for a long time, but you're in the industry with men, and they just still make you feel like okay,
very
we're
much.
still
And
better than you as men, or you
exactly.
can't
And
be
there are
above
certain
us.
things, it's true, there are certain things that they are discussing. You want to say something, they are overshadowing you. And I'll tell you, sometimes they don't know. Sometimes it's
Yeah, I think
in
most
nature.
of them don't
So
know.
exactly. So we need to educate them and say, oh, as I was saying, guys, can I say something? You can approach them well. And also our culture of course, in Zambia, we want to respect men, which is fine. We want to respect
Yeah,
them even when they are talking. But when you need to put a point across, we need to. And
you
also
have
remember,
to.
yes, diversity, actually, it's the one that's improving quality of our products. Let me tell you, in a lot of
Mm-hmm.
products, when you see colorful designs,
Yeah, that's
designs that
so
look
true.
so cute. First, have you ever asked yourself who is doing that?
Yeah, yeah.
It's the
Speaking from somebody who's from working under manufacturing of soap, there are so many things that I was seeing. Because when you make a product, you look at the physical. Okay, is it looking up to standard? Okay, is the color, and I feel like as women we have more of that. We pay attention to colors just from things like nail polishes and all that. So when you look at a
yes,
certain soap and you look at the color and you're like, okay, but apa, it's got a bit of tuma things, try and
yes,
modify it in this area. Let's
hmm,
try and okay, let's do the shape, like those kinds of things where women are more catchy to certain details as compared to men. So there are those ideas that you bring in that make something a bit better. Like there's just that feminine touch that would be like, okay, we know you've been producing soap in a box shape. Let's
yes,
try and make it a bit of in a round shape, or in a something let's add some flowers so that others who are using it, they feel, even as you're bathing, you feel, that kind of a thing. So there's always
exactly.
that. It's always important for a feminine touch in every area.
100% I agree with you. And you know what? The other thing I would also want to add is, as females, this is also a platform where we can learn from each other. For example, someone will be like, guys, you can always ask me, can we do a session of Excel? Most of us, we
Mm.
want to learn how to arrange data, how to make it well.
Yes, that's so
A
true.
lot of things challenges you guys. This is the platform. Please come, let's educate ourselves.
Even
Let's
these other
teach.
softwares, it's true.
Yes, a lot of softwares we need to learn. Someone
Somebody
can
who
ask,
knows something
you
can
know
simply step up one day and, okay, guys, if it's your computers, okay,
yes.
this is how you arrange your data. If you're making a
Mhm.
log sheet, if you're doing this and that, so that even though YouTube has all these hundreds of things, but sometimes there's just an interactiveness that makes you more intrigued or more participative in certain things, whereas you're just watching it direct, and
Exactly.
it's just there.
So many resources that we can provide. Wow, that was really a good discussion and interesting. Thank you so much for that. Especially while
Yeah.
guys engage us, ask questions, feel free, guys. And one of these days,
Mm,
I'm also going to put a link. When you feel you are want to to come and talk, you feel free to come and talk, so we can all share and discuss this.
mm-hmm.
Wow, thank you so much,
Yeah.
Natasha. That was really a good discussion. So the last question I want to say is, I know you also touched about how you can, encourage those kids around and things like. So let's also go. How can kids mostly? What are the things they can work on in the house when they're in the house? What are some of those things that kids can work on when they're in the house?
Okay, science related.
Yes.
I think like you put it, we should
Mhm.
just sort of remove that notion of really saying, okay, girl should be the only one to do this and a guy should be the only one to do this. There are certain tasks that I feel like as kids, it's doable by everybody. So I think even just starting with certain programs that we let the kids watch, I think on TV, because
Yes.
now everybody watches TV or the phones
Mhm.
that they have, leading them towards more STEM related programs,
Yes.
um channels that are more on STEM. There's Discovery Channel. Those things are interesting sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have different things, but sometimes it's actually interesting to see, oh, okay, oh, so this plane, this is what happens. This is how it goes in the air. Oh, so this is how chemicals are made. This is how medicine is made. So I think if we can lead lead the kids towards more, especially in the things that they're more interested. Now almost every kid has a phone. Almost
Yes.
every household, watches TV. They have access to all this TV. Akali at least says tell us, okay, no, you can only watch at a certain time. But now you can watch at any time. So
At any time.
leaning towards more STEM related programs, either with apps on our devices or even with the
Hmm.
programs that we watch. I think that will help kids be more interested in these programs that we're talking about, even with the computers,
Yes.
all these kinds of things. I think that would
Wow.
be a better way of teaching the kids.
Wow. Thank you so much. Oh my God, Natasha. Congratulations